Hello, welcome to watch our short video about the workflow of this BlueStar Mapping software. In this video, we'll go through the full process of mapping camera taken photos onto your scan data. Okay, so let's get started. Before we start work on the software, there are two things we have to prepare in advance. One of them is, of course, the scan data from our scanners. It can be in both OBJ, STL, or PLY format. All three are okay. And it can be both either with texture or without texture. It doesn't really matter. With texture, you can do it easier. Without texture, it's also possible. So you can use Mappatura scanner to scan the data and then mapping pictures as well. Okay. Now, the second thing you need to have is high resolution photos taken by, we do recommend professional camera. The output format of the pictures, we recommend to use highest quality JPEG pictures, okay? And when you're taking the pictures, we do recommend you take pictures in a sequence that's going around the object with certain overlay, okay? Like this, you go around the object for a couple different angles, above, horizontal, from the bottom, and if you want the bottom as well, you might also take it from the bottom as well. Make sure each picture are in a sequence and they have enough overlap, okay? Another thing is, when you're taking these pictures, make sure the object is in the right middle of your pictures, and make sure it's large enough. Okay, don't make it too small, and this should be good. Now, after we open the software, let's take a look at the interface first. In the middle, we do have the data window where you can view all your 3D data. On the bottom, we have the workflow. This is also a place where you start a new project. We'll do it later. On the top, we have all the tools that we're going to use during the full workflow. And you will be able to access them in the top menu as well. And here you can change the language. We do have different versions for different language available. English, French, Japanese, and currently simplified Chinese as well. So let's get it started. Normally, the first thing you want to do is at the bottom where we have the workflow, click and start a new project with scan text string. This is what we usually do if you want to put in pictures onto the scan data, or if you want, it's also possible to use only the pictures that you take into, do photo modeling as well. So now let's do the scan text string first, and let's select a place to set up the data folder. Now here you can see it automatically loaded a full workflow. All we need to do is just follow this workflow at the bottom step by step to achieve the full process. Now let's do it step by step. So the first thing we want to do is here at the beginning, import the mesh data. Just select the mesh data that you scanned with your scanner. It could be OBJ, STL, POI. And select it and open it. It should be loaded into your interface, like we talked about before, it could be with texture or without texture. Both are okay. All right. Now, second thing is to do a transform. This helps to quickly align the data. You can use left mouse to rotate and both mouse together to pan the object. Simply put it in up still position in the middle of the window. Should be okay. Yeah, click on the check, apply. All right, that's the second step. Third one is to clean the mesh. Normally, if you use the scan data from Shiny 3D Scanner, it should be well cleaned in the scan software. So basically, you just click on OK. Shouldn't do too much. The scan data itself should be cleaned as well already. Now, after cleanup, we also need to here go to the bottom. The top, we don't need to do anything. This simply automatically save the data. And on the bottom, here we need to also simplify the mesh. Now, this is one step we have to do for a simplified data will help you to putting on the texture easier and faster. So that's something we have to do. Normally, we recommend it go down to around 40,000 for the mesh size. Should be good, a good number. All right, and click on it, and let's clean the simplified data again, and generate mesh UV. This is to unwrap your mesh. Okay, it's also automatic, so basically just click apply. Now, the next thing you want to do is actually very important, which is to work with all the pictures that we take that we want to map in onto the scan data. So here, let's click on this photo capture window, and we'll open up this small window here for the photo capture. And the first thing we want to do is create a photo gallery. You can enter the name by your own as well. The reason that we have this photo gallery system is because for some cases, for example, if you were mapping pictures onto, let's say, plate, which the top surface and bottom surface, the pictures, they don't have overlap, okay? When you see from the top, you won't be able to see the bottoms at all. In this case, you might need to have two photo galleries and map top and bottom individually. But in our case for this demonstration, only one photo gallery is good enough because this object you can turn it gradually. Okay, so now after you set up the photo gallery, we will do add photos first. Basically, just select all the photos that you have. You can hold shift and click the first and last one to select multiple, open them, load them into the photo gallery. And the second thing you want to do is to detect the main body with AI functions. Now here, after you click it, there's one thing I want to mention is we do have the max size for the pictures. You see here, you should select the max size based on the GPU memory usage, also based on how many pictures you have. So what it does is to load all the pictures into your GPU. So If you have, hundreds of pictures and with higher resolution, you might need to consider with a smaller maximum size. It will compress the picture. In other case, if you only have several pictures, you can select a larger max size to see the pictures clearly and help to select the main body clearly. Okay. Normally 640 is good enough. And after you click OK, it will try to load all the pictures and it will pop up this small window, helps us to recognize the main body. All right. It takes some time to load up all the pictures. Now, after it's loaded, here you see the first pictures. The thing we want to do is we use left mouse to lay down a green spot to let the software know that here is the area that we want. It will automatically expand the areas. If there are any other places you think it's missing, you can lay down another green dots with left mouse again. If there are places that select too much, you can use right mouse button, click to let the software ignore them like this. Okay, and if you think it's all good, you can click on spread forward and it will try to use the similar rules to mapping on all the pictures, and you can check them one by one. Small defect is actually not so important like this. If you want, you can also manually redo for this picture as well, like this. Okay, and you can hit the space bar on your keyboard to confirm. You can check more pictures like this, and if you do see some pictures that's not good enough, you can also manually redefine them. Make sure you click the space bar after you finish. Okay, and we are missing one ear here. All right, just like this. Just check all the pictures one by one. Make sure it's selecting the main object perfectly. Okay, I actually want the bottom. So this step, it will help us to screen out all the background during the mapping. Okay, seems all good, and you just need to click on the save at the bottom right. Okay, now if you open the photo gallery again, you will be able to see that now all the photos that we imported has a mask already, and you don't see the background anymore. Okay, now after the mask is applied onto the model, the next thing we want to do is to do a relativity orientation. And what this one does is it helps to recognize the angle of all the pictures that was taken, and this will help us to put the texture onto the object. Okay, now here we do have two different algorithms for the definition of the orientation. We have a default one, and we also been able to use the meta shape, which is the third-party software. The meta shape is faster, but the default one is actually more accurate. So we can stay with the default. Just click on OK, and it will do the calculation. You see I already did it once. For you, it will just directly go to the photo line. So what it does is it will look into all the pictures, try to calculate where the pictures are taken, at what angle, what distance. And this will take some time. And here's our calculations. You can see that all of the pictures are been calculated for a relatively angle where they were taken. Okay. All right, and you see that there is one of the point cloud is calculated based on this step as well. And the next thing we want to do is here, let's click on the photo capture, and in the tools, let's select the dense reconstruction to make this point cloud denser so that later we can easily align it with the the simplified scan data. Now that's down, and here what we're gonna do next is absolute orientation, and this will help us to align the camera angle with the scan data. So here you see that we are looking at the first pictures, and we want to adjust our scan data to match the angle and the distance, which is the size of the data. Okay. You only need to roughly align it and don't have to be perfect. Just click on this register, and it will try to calculate and make the alignment more perfect. Okay, and after it's down, the first one down, you can click on the check and select global refine. Then we'll try to refine all the other pictures and align them with the scan data. You see now it's all aligned, and you can double check, see if all the picture angles are correct. You see that there are some of the cameras missing. It means that during the global align, some of the cameras are not perfectly aligned. You can go back to the absolute orientation to recheck, see which one is not aligned well. And you can manually change them as well. So far looks good. I think it's one of the pictures that's taken from the bottom. So far so good. You can click on spacebar to see it or jump. Okay, if all of them are good, then it's okay. Maybe it's just a small gap when we're taking the pictures. Now, here we already align it. If it's perfectly aligned, next thing you want to do is here, click on Save, down at the photo capture. It will save our current progress. And then we can go to the texturing mesh. Select the photo gallery. Everything is already aligned by us. Just click on Apply. Now here, we do have some different algorithm to mapping our textures. Normally, Pixel Fusion should be a good choice. All the other all the other selections, you can double check the user menu. My advice is for the first use, just leave as a default and see how it works. For different models, you might need to adjust some of these setups for better results. Okay. Now the program will, based on the picture angles, try to select the best pictures and map them onto the scan data. Remember, now what we do is we're mapping to the simplified mesh, and based on this, we will have a UV mapping guide. And we can use this one to, after this, we'll return this mapping guide to the higher resolution model, and this will help us to mapping the picture back to the model itself. Now, after the calculation is done, you will see the automatic result. If you're already, satisfied with the current results, you can just click on the check, or you can go through each picture one by one, see how well they were mapped. We don't really recommend you to manually change them because there's more things you can do. But well, at least the automatic function should be good enough for you. If there are some highlight areas, we can avoid them by adjusting some of the texturing parameters to help refine the data. Now, after you click the check, now after the texturing progress finished, we will be entering this data overview interface, where you can actually change some of the mapping readouts. For example, if you see some highlight, overexposure places, or if there's like reflection from the light, you can choose to use another pictures to help reduce these kind of issues. Normally, the algorithm should already done this for you, but I mean, if there's anything left, you can still have a chance to manually correct it. Okay, and after you double check, you click on the check mark, and here we can output the texture. You can actually output the texture in 3-4 different pictures as well. Normally, single texture should be good enough. Remember that the community version only supports 4K texture output. Okay. The full version, the paid version, you can get more output with 8K or 16K resolution pictures as well. So now the mapping is saved as well. You can actually refine the texture with Photoshop as well. If you have Photoshop installed, it will directly bring the texture picture into Photoshop and where you can edit it. And okay, so now we have the texture wrapped onto the low resolution mesh. If you're not so strict with the model detail, the shape itself, if you're good with current 40,000 triangles, you can just leave with it and you will be able to find your simplified mesh with high resolution texture mapping data in the folder here displayed. This mid one is the one that you can use now, or you can also here click on the transfer UV, and it will then transfer this mapping information to the high resolution model as well. One problem is that I don't know if you noticed that direct transformation will cause some of the wobbling in the texture. This is because the triangle surface count is different. So another thing you need to do is bake the texture. This also need to use an add-on, so which is extra cost. You have to buy the add-on here, which is called Marmoset, to help you bake the texture. If you don't want to pay for the extra cost, you can stay with the this result or the medium resolution, or when you simplify the mesh, simply just don't simplify it at all. If your scan data is not too large, and if you have a very strong graphic card, it should work perfectly as well. Okay, so this is the full workflow for how to mapping your scan data with camera taking pictures. Thanks for watching.